Thanks for sharing.
Thanks.
I think we have our quorum now, so we can get started. We have meetings coming up after this too, so we want to get through everything. And I was out, obviously last week, so but I did have a chance to take a look at the last meeting recording, and it went well. And I appreciate Patricia for giving you guys a review of assistive technology. I hope you guys found it useful. Um, and I believe Cress may be joining us. I know he's in a meeting right now too, so if he will, he'll probably pop in a little bit. All right, and so we have the agenda. I sent a bunch of minutes to everyone over sometime last week, and it's just minutes from our previous meetings that we need to get up on the website. So if no one has any objections to or has any changes or corrections to those minutes, we can get them approved and have our webmaster load them up. So anybody have any corrections or anything? Nope. Okay. So we're approved for that, and I'll move that on over to the webmaster. And let's get started. Peter, you're always up first on our agenda to give your update.
Let's see. So, we're working with Deloitte, and we have from the report that we've gone over here, there's a lot of activities that need to be done, and we're working with them to come up with the owners of each one of those activities within DDS to work on. So we're working through that. That should be finished within a couple of weeks, so that we can get started on those activities. A lot of them will be worked on over the next year and a half-ish. That's the whole during the ARPA period. We've worked through the frequently asked questions for providers, individuals, and case managers. There's trainings coming up, but I'll let Deloitte go through some of that in their report. I see more is on here, so I'm not going to go a lot into the communications piece. And so I know that we're working on a lot of one-page, simple to understand descriptions and videos, but I'm not going to go into that. I'll let more go into that. We are looking at a June newsletter, so that's coming up. We did able to award 3 providers for supportive housing grants. So we're looking at that to be started hopefully within the next couple of months. And the rewarding work website should have been up last week, but I haven't heard that it is, so I can't say that it is for sure. That's the website for individuals who self-hire their own staff. So we're trying to get an update as to where that is. That we ran into a problem with IT. We solved that problem, so I think it should be ready to go. So it should be getting up within shortly. I just don't know exactly where that is. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but a lot of stuff we're working on is with our consultants, and I don't want to take their thunder away. So I will not add any more time to this. So that's my update.
Okay. That was short and sweet, and we will pass it on over to our consultants. And we have McDowell up next. Maura, want to share an update?
Princess, this is Maura Fitzgerald from McDowell Communications. My internet connection is not the greatest right now, so if I freeze, I'll be back. So few quick updates. We have a flyer that should be hitting the mailboxes of all of the individuals and families that are supported by DDS. Starting today, they should hit mailboxes. And that flyer has a message from the commissioner and then has the list of the forums that are going to be happening starting next week, along with very short descriptions of the services and supports that are going to be talked about in each of the forums. And I believe that was emailed last week to all of the DDS staff and to providers, and then also to the people who have thus far signed up for email updates on the DDS website. So that was emailed out last week and then should start hitting mailboxes today through the weekend for next week's the forums that start next week. As Peter mentioned, we are now working on a full June newsletter that will be, more similar to what we put out in March, but configured a little bit differently, hopefully less words and a few more pictures and, just kind of short updates for people. So that's being worked on now and will be going out in the beginning of June. Peter mentioned our videos. We have 5 videos that have been completely shot and are being worked on right now for post-production. So far, we've been able to share with the DDS leadership the rough cut videos for community companion homes and supportive housing. And both videos really kind of received, even for being as rough as they were, rave reviews. So we're really psyched to get those finalized, and we'll be, if depending on how schedules align, we'll either be showing them to you in your committee meetings if there's time. If not, we'll have links to the videos that I'll send, to Princess and Cress, and they can distribute it out to the members of the committee so you guys can see it on your own time. We're still working on scheduling shoot days for the self-direction video. And I think DDS has just kind of in the last day or so kind of figured out how they want to go with a video for employment services. So we're going to be working on also getting that kind of logistically ironed out and scheduled for shooting. But the goal is to start rolling out these videos in June. So we'll have the forums in May and then kind of keep the momentum going with the videos released in June. We're in the process now of coming up with the plan for how that all will roll out. But one of the places where we're thinking that the videos will be shown is at I guess there are regional meetings or regional forums that are taking place in the month of June. So we thought that might be a good place to be able to show a large group of people the videos. They will also live on the DDS website. We'll be able to put them out in social media posts. We'll be able to send them out to the email list, get them in the hands of all of the DDS staff, particularly the case managers and others who have kind of are the frontline touch points for the individuals and families that DDS serves. So that's where things are with the videos. To go along with the videos, we have a series of one-pagers. So these are going to be sheets that are just kind of very basic top lines for each of the supports that are being offered. So just like a very brief description, if it's like a residential service, how that support is staffed, what the benefits of the supports are, what the potential challenges of the supports are, and then where people can get more information on each of those supports. So, for case managers, if they show an individual or a family the assistive technology video, they can also give them the one pager, as like a handout to take with them that has a little bit more information, and then also several links and areas at the bottom where they can go to get more information on that service. So we're currently working on those and getting those designed by our graphic designer. So they should be ready to roll out at the same time that the videos are. And again, we'll distribute them to the committee so you all can see them before they go live to the public. And then the last update that I have for you is we're working with a web developer to create a STEP web page that will be on the DDS website. It won't be separate from the DDS website, but it will be designed very differently than the current DDS website. So it will be much more like button and picture based, and a lot less texty. So, you know, up at the top, you'll have the STEP logo and a brief description. And then I think like the first set of buttons are going to be for the 7 supports. So, you know, if you want information on assistive technologies, you just click on assistive technologies and it'll take you to a page that has the video, has the 1-pager, and then other materials that we're going to be building into those pages. So that is in the works right now. And I should also say, back on the 1-pagers, in addition to doing 1-pagers for each of the 7 supports, we are also doing a 1-pager, which is actually a 2-pager on STEP itself. So just a bigger explanation of STEP, the background of how it came about, you know, and how it kind of relates to ARPA and relates to I don't even remember the name of
Mara, I'm going to interject
one
here
before.
because we're still working on the STEP 1-pager and the content is going to change. Please stay tuned about the STEP 1-pager, but it will be available as a resource.
Yeah. So still in the works, but that is also coming too. And that is all we have going on the communication side. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Have any questions? Hi, Chris. Chris just joined. A lot's going on, and a lot to follow up on. I know you said that the May newsletter that's completed and is out in the mailboxes. Was that sent already to for folks to look at, or not yet?
I am not sure, and it's not. Just to clarify, what went out in
Okay.
or what's going out now it's not a newsletter. It's more of a flyer that's basically
Okay.
announcing the forums that are going to start happening next week. So it just gives people a short description of what each of those forums are going to be, when they're going to be held, and how people can sign up to participate in the forums.
Great. Thanks
And
for
I think
clarifying.
Lauren just put it into the chat.
Oh,
It
good.
is available on the DDS website. It was sent out to all staff and it's also been posted on our social media.
Great. All right, so if nobody has any questions on any of those updates, we can move on to Deloitte's update. You're on mute, Julia.
It always happens, you know, you think you're on the ball on a Wednesday and it always happens, at least to me, once a week. But anyway, this is Julia Oak from Deloitte, sharing an update with you all for some of our recent progress. So we've shared, as you all might remember, the draft educational materials. Thank you all so much for comments. We just got approval from DDS to have those finalized yesterday. So in addition to this committee's feedback, also was shared with the resource administrators to get their perspective, and those will be going out shortly. So, and in the educational materials will be paired with the informational sessions, sort of like an orientation to STEP. That will be provided for 3 groups. There'll be an info session for providers, an informational session for DDS executive leadership. Go ahead, Betsy.
Oh, it's 4 groups. Yeah, 4 groups.
Yeah, I just miscounted. I'm going through. Sorry. Providers, DDS executive leadership, case management, resource management, DDS staff, and that was 4. So the info sessions, there'll be sort of overview of STEP at a high level, sort of introducing folks to the sort of goal of STEP, and then for each group, we'll be going into a little bit more detail of some of the elements that are most specific to that group. So providers, there'll be a chunk on some of the financial incentives and some of the other STEP outcomes. So the approved educational materials, those will be a supplement to the info sessions. And the provider session will be happening on May 18th, and providers have been sent a save the date. And then DDS staff just got the registration information this morning. So encourage all DDS staff on the line to register. And we're meeting with executive leadership next week. And following the information session, sort of looking ahead in June, we'll be hosting trainings. So those will be a little bit more tactical, process oriented. There'll be 3 modules for providers, helping them think through transition planning and getting sort of into a little bit more details for actually creating a plan. And then there'll also be a training for DDS staff to sort of best ways to support providers and sort of their role in STEP. And that will also be a three-session training. And that's our major updates for this group. So happy to answer any questions.
And I dropped the provider, this is Betsy Bella from Deloitte. I dropped the provider educational material. Well, it's the link to the STEP gateway on the provider gateway. So if you want to look at the provider one, it's there. GDS staff would have received the other two via email. But we know that not everybody on the line is DDS staff. So if you want to look at the provider one, the final ones. But the last version you saw is really similar to the final version.
It says DDS here. Does anybody have any questions regarding training or forums, anything like that at all? Nope. Okay, we're moving and shaking.
Princess, I'm so sorry. This is Lauren Gray with DDS. I do just want to say the first forums begin next week. So I highly encourage everyone to visit the DDS website. Under the first section entitled DDS May Virtual Forums. Here, I just put it in the chat and sign up for these forums. The first ones are next week on assistive technology and remote supports. We have morning sessions and evening sessions, and you do need to register. So I highly encourage you to attend as many as possible, whether in the morning or evening, whatever best fits your schedule, but please check those out.
Thank you for that plug. We appreciate it. That was one of the things I was going to add to the questions is what are the forums that are coming up and how can folks access? And so thanks for dropping that in the chat. And I think we can move on to divisional communication. And we kind of talked a little bit about that, kind of what's been happening divisionally, what's up and coming with the forums. We also had a flyer go out to our staff discussing remote supports. And what I wanted to chat about is just how I, as a case manager too, I just appreciated the framework of that communication that came out because it explained a little bit about remote supports. It provided a link to the DDS website where we can access that information if we wanted to read further on details, or if we wanted to share that with families or providers or with a team to kind of refresh, but to further orient us. And it also provided a link to the December 22 forum recording that also provided some additional feedback and input, and where individuals were able to share like some highlights and profiling going on there too. So I really appreciated the framework and how that was set up. And so I'm, you know, that's how the communication is going to be coming out to staff moving forward. And it was very, very helpful. And much of what our input that we provided, we're actually seeing that. So it was very, very helpful. I just wanted to commend them on that. And we also had an update around rewarding work. For the rewarding work website. And one of the questions that I had on that was, I had saw from the previous meeting, Peter, you gave an update saying that there was some delays and some you know, troubleshooting going on, but it was resolved and that it was going to be up and running the website by the end of the month. So is that happening? How's that website looking?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm trying to get a update. I haven't heard an update on terms of that.
Okay.
So when I hear, I'll let you guys know. I know that they've been incorporating some of those changes, but I don't know if the full website's up at this point. So when I find out, I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. Princess and DDS here. I keep forgetting that. And then the other important one that folks were asking about was the DSS RFP that went out. Supposed to be going out toward the end of the summer, which people are very excited about because that's going to include a component around emergency backup staff too, which is kind of tied into that rewarding work website for that will help folks to be able to put up their resumes and match up with individuals that are looking for staff. So that's very, very important. So keep us posted with any updates on that.
Yeah, the target date for that is July 1st. We've gone
Okay.
through a number of iterations of it. It's now at the DSS contract and finance department. So we'll see what they come up with. Sometimes they can find other things that we have to deal with.
Okay. I think that was it. It kind of we did a really good job kind of intertwining all things going on internally as far as communication, divisionally with the forums and everything that's coming up. It's going to be a whole lot of information coming down. So we're super excited about that. As far as action steps go for us, our committee continuously providing feedback as we are asked for it from Deloitte and McDowell. So please certainly and let us know any feedback additionally that you would need from us and send us any materials ahead of time that we can review and be able to give that feedback. Do you have anything for us now that we can discuss or share or anything up and coming other than the June newsletter, McDowell or Deloitte? You guys have anything that I can add to action steps right now? Nope. Okay. All right. And mind you, keep in mind, we're meeting every 2 weeks, guys. So there's going to be meetings where we don't have any action steps currently because we've already done the actions. And so things are kind of in process. So I think we're in good shape. Let's see and take a quick gander at the minutes. And future agenda items are just to continue with providing feedback, continue to keep staff updated. As things come up too, Cress and I will be updating the committee because there might be things going on in between and changes, just like Lauren mentioned. Once things are finalized, those things will be coming down the pike as well. But other than that, it looks like we are doing good for updates and future agenda items. If no one has anything else, Cress, you have anything?
No, sorry, I apologize for being extremely tardy to this meeting, but I got called into an issue in the region that I had to attend to. So my apologies for being late. No, I don't have any updates. I know Peter has been sending out some stuff on informing leadership, and we're trying to expand that a little bit. So hopefully we can get more buy-in in the regional leadership to be more informed, and hopefully we'll have another way of getting out our information as not like trickle-down economics, but trickle-down communication. So that's it.
All right, thanks, Cross Princess. DDS here. I did want to share that we, as co-chairs with individuals and families, are continuing to meet monthly as well to make sure that we're collaborating and making sure that, along with Deloitte and McDowell, that our messaging remains aligned and that we're all on the same page. And also, we're going to be meeting with our communications division to talk about the innovating our DDS website to also help make sure that one of our actions, one of our goals were to make sure that the website is updated and the information is structured in a way that is accessible for case managers, that it is current, and really getting that information in a place where it's usable and accessible and easy to navigate for folks. So we're in the process of doing that now, so that's exciting. Just want to give you guys an update, and we'll give you further updates as we get into the process of figuring that out. So look out for more details on that to come. Alrighty, and with that, if no one has any other questions or anything to add, we can adjourn. I know, Marina. You look shocked. We have time to spare. So yeah, we're moving and shaking, people. This is a great thing. It's a wonderful thing.
I feel a little bit like Wile E. Coyote when the Roadrunner drove by. It's just like, what? I'm dating myself.
So,
My God, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Great.
We have other meetings to get to anyway, so the day isn't done for us.
Yep.
So these things are in process. So, all right, guys, you have a good afternoon. Thanks for
Thank you. You
feedback
too.
today.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care.